and welcome to my class. Students, today I am going to begin the chapter 3. The title of the chapter is Natural Vegetation and Wildlife. So under this chapter, we will have some of the very beautiful and suitable subheadings. That is actually the natural vegetation. Then under this natural vegetation, we have the forest, grasslands, desert, and tundra vegetation. Of course, the chapter is very long. Then the second part we have to discuss about natural vegetation of India. Then third one, conservation of natural vegetation. Fourth one is a distribution of wildlife and wildlife of India, of course. And then the last one is a conservation of wildlife. Now in previous chapter we have learned about the conservation of water, conservation of land, and then today we will be discussing about the conservation of wildlife, all these areas. Okay, so here we have to understand that how this actually natural vegetation is very much like essential and important for human life to survive ourselves. Okay, so when we talk about the natural vegetation, you will find that here basically we are including plants and then the growth of the plants, and without this actually the plants and animals, the human life is not possible. So that's why we can totally depend on this plants and animals. So however, the original vegetation of the world has been modified by human beings. Today we see that many of the areas things are actually modified, and then as a result of today we can see mostly the in the garden and all, especially we are actually grafting the things and all, and then we are making in two in one. It means in one tree we can produce the two fruits or three flowers in a one tree. So that is the how the human beings are actually modifying the things nowadays. So however, the original of the plants in fact helped a lot to make ourselves survive better. So today for example we are lacking oxygen is because that plenty of trees are actually cut down in every year, and so it is because of that global warming also is taking place, and then today for example human life becomes very miserable in, especially in the city and town, you know. Okay, so let us discuss. So today natural vegetation includes all plants and natural things and all. And today we will discuss about the wildlife event. And here, when we speak about the wildlife, we will be referring about the animals, birds, and other organisms that is living in the nature. So natural vegetation and wildlife are actually found in the narrow zone where the lithosphere and hydrosphere and atmosphere meet and interact. So in the previous chapter we have already discussed that uh, here the lithosphere is the this physical part where the human habitation and the wildlife are found, and then you will find the hydrosphere, water of course needed to survive this biosphere, and then atmosphere in the sense that we need the oxygen to survive, and the plants and for the plants like a carbon dioxide is very much needed. So this way the things are actually interacting each other and then surviving. So this particular zone is actually known as the biosphere. So that is how we can talk about it. And then here all organisms, whether they belong to the plants or animals, animal kingdoms, so they interact each other, and then they are depending, they are interdependent on each other for their survival. That is we really understood. So this interaction between the organisms and the physical environment is called the ecosystem. So today for example we are depending on the plants and animals because we are consuming, and then we are getting the benefit from them. At the same time the plants also is benefiting, animals also benefiting from each other. It may say whatever the plants and animals actually interdependent each other, then that actually creates the ecosystem. So that is very systematic way things are actually functioning. So both natural vegetation and wildlife are actually crucial for their existence. Let's see there are some examples. Plants produce oxygen, that is very natural, and protect the soil, and also and provide us the shelter with the timber, fruits, flowers, vegetables, then medicines, then protection of the different useful, like domestic purposes, whatever we are using. So these are all actually we are finding from the these plants. So on the other hand, animals provide us milk, meat, hide and wool, and insects like bees provide us honey, then act as agents of pollination, is it not? And the birds like vultures feed the dead animals and then cleaning the things and all. So that way the nature is actually surviving, nature is remaining intact. So here this way the things are actually functioning. So we have to understand this way. Then let us talk about the natural vegetation. Now what is the natural vegetation? Now natural vegetation varies from region to region, and this is because sunlight, rainfall and then soil, which are essential for the growth of plants, and vary from one region to another region. Now you can remember that in every state when you visit, you will find some extent the things are a bit different. Today, for example, in Assam, whatever the plants, whatever the animals, whatever the crops we are growing, these are all actually a little bit different than the region which is a hilly. So some extent if you visit to Shillong or you may visit to Arunachal Pradesh, the lifestyle of the people are a bit different. They are very much different. So that's why we need to know that it is varies from place to place and region to region. So now, natural vegetation can be mainly classified into like a forest, grasslands, then scrubs and a tundra. So let us know about the forest first of all. Now, forest can be also different types of forest we can find. Okay, so let's see. The forest can be divided into two main categories. That is a evergreen forest and then a deciduous forest. So depending on which they shed their leaves. Okay, so let's see about the evergreen forest. What is the evergreen forest? Now the trees of the evergreen forest do not shed their leaves at the same time, and they are divided into four groups. That is a tropical, then a temperate, Mediterranean, and then a carnivorous. So these are the four groups that we are divided. And then what exactly the tropical evergreen forest? Let's see. So tropical evergreen forests, these forests are actually found in hot and wet equatorial regions. Some major areas in the equatorial regions of where these forests are actually found are the Amazon basin. So we have learned about Amazon basin in class 7. So I think you remember how this Amazon basin in fact are creating the different sort of species and then animals and so many things are we are actually discussed. So just a moment, so we have learned about the Amazon basin in class 7. I wanted to show you some of the things later, but okay, if there is some other time, I can bring some of the very important points from the class 7 books, which is very useful for us even in class 8. Okay, so evergreen forests are.
Adios, amigo. Powering off.
So in evergreen forest, you will see that which are the things that actually are which are the countries or which are the like wildlife are actually made available here. So let's see. So first of all, tropical evergreen forest. Now Amazon basin, one of them. Then Zaire basin. Have you heard Zaire basin? And then Malaysia. So these are the few things that is actually here you will find the tropical evergreen forest. The third one, the high temperatures and a heavy rainfall in these regions actually give rise to dense vegetation. So Amazon basin today, for example, we see the most of the like a rainfall or the forestry is very dense. Is because that here you will find that heavy rainfall and then even the temperature is very high. Then the main trees found here are actually mahogany, then ebony, rubber, rosewood, then you will find the chinapona, and these trees actually have the hardwood and a broad leaves. You must remember this whatever the trees name I have mentioned, these trees actually having the broad leaves, and leaves are actually that way formed, and it is a hardwood, actually very hard. So then they form a canopy at the top which prevent sunlight from the penetrating into the forest and making them dark and damp even during the daytime. So whenever you see in the television channel, if they are showing about the Amazon forest, then some extent they are showing about the how this forest is actually not allowing this sunlight to penetrate deep down of it, and then you will see that different species existing. Perhaps today there are many of the areas, perhaps in the Amazon basin, people may not be able to enter it because the forest is so dense that people once enter means they will get lost and then they may not be coming back again in a life. Is it not? So that is we can getting the some of the news whenever the some visitors are visiting over there. So a thick undergrowth of the creepers and vines can also be found in this forest. So it's remember, thick undergrowth and of creepers, a kind of like a creepers, yeah, are found also covered with the forest, and vines can also be found in this forest. It means vine means what, like a grapes formation. Some of the plants are also very much available. So that is about the tropical evergreen forest. Next we have got temperate evergreen forest. What is a temperate evergreen forest? Now these forests in fact are found in warm temperate regions along the southeastern sides of the continents, that is southeastern USA. Then you will find China, Japan, Brazil and Australia are the main regions where there is this particular forest is found. What is the forest? This forest is about the temperate evergreen forest. Okay. Alright, then again the main trees that grow here is a oak, name of the tree, then a eucalyptus, then a pine, then a camphor and a bamboo. These are the few plants that is growing very thickly over here, and then these trees have hardwood and yield valuable timber. Okay, valuable timbers are also found here. Then a third category of the this what called forest is known as Mediterranean forest. Mediterranean. Now see, Mediterranean forests actually are found on the western side of the temperate regions, and the main regions are actually southern regions, southern European countries like Portugal, Spain, then Italy, France, Greece, Turkey, Yugoslavia. Then you have the Western Asian, then countries like Syria, Cyprus, Israel, and Lebanon. Then a northwestern side African countries like Morocco, then Algeria, Tunisia, then southeast Australia, California in the USA, and a central Chile in South America. These are the few countries are actually including to have this Mediterranean forest. And then let's see here how this actually weather or rainfall. So these regions actually receive the rainfall in winters. So it's a very opposite. These regions are actually receiving the rainfall during the winter season and have relatively dry summers. And during the summer season, of course, we can see that little dry. And the trees found in this forest are actually evergreen and broad-leaved. Okay, evergreen and broad-leaved, and they have thick barks, waxy leaves, then long roots. So these are the characteristics of the plants. And the main trees found here are fig, laurel, then a pine, fir, cedar, olive, then a cypress and a maple. These are the few plants that is actually grown here. And citrus fruits are actually extremely cultivated in this region. Citrus means like oranges, then lemon, all these varieties of the things are actually found here. Okay, next forest is about the coniferous forest. Now, coniferous forest actually found in the northern hemisphere between 55 degree and 70 degree latitudes. And the main regions are actually southern Canada, then you will find southern Alaska, and then again you will find the parts of the Norway, and Finland, of course, Sweden also, Poland, then northern Russia and Siberia. These are the few countries are actually having this particular forest. And here some of the trees or the forest actually containing what type of things are here. See here the forest contain tall, straight, evergreen trees with a needle-like leaves. So we know what we can guess. You might have gone to Shillong and you have seen pine trees. is it not? So these are the characteristics of the tree over here. So these trees of this forest have actually soft wood, which is very useful in making furniture, then plywood, sports good and all, and then a paper, matchsticks, etc. These are the soft trees actually made use for that. And then main trees found here are actually pine, fir, then a cedar and a spruce. These are the few trees that is found here. Okay. Then next one we have got deciduous forest, and the trees found in the deciduous forest shed their leaves at a particular period of the year, usually during the dry season. Okay, during the dry season, you will find that these are the plants are also available. So deciduous forest we will discuss now. So let's see. So tropical deciduous forest and a temperate deciduous forest. So we have got two types of deciduous forest. One is a tropical deciduous and the other one is a temperate. So let's now learn about the tropical deciduous forest. Now these forests are actually found in the Asian countries with a monsoon climate like India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, Myanmar, Thailand, and then you will find Vietnam, Philippines, then Taiwan and southern China. So these are the few countries, and they are also found in some parts of Brazil, then Central America, East Africa, and northern Australia even. So they are also known as the monsoon forest. Okay, so as we have got in India, so monsoon forest, and these forests are actually less dense and shed their leaves, which in the dry season, especially during the autumn season. So the trees actually of this forest are medium in height and commercially valuable in some extent. So some important trees found here are teak, sal, then shisham, then eucalyptus, and bamboo, of course. Okay, so that is about the tropical deciduous forest. Next we have the temperate deciduous forest. How this temperate deciduous forest actually? Now temperate deciduous forests are found in the cool temperate regions which have a mild climate. Such regions are like northwestern Europe. Then under this northwestern Europe, you will find some of the countries like British Isles, Sweden, Finland, Norway, then Russia. So these are the few countries are falling under the northwestern Europe, which part of the this temperate deciduous forest. Okay, so these are found here. Then another part, that is a northwestern side, you will find that USA, northern China, and Japan. So these are things also found, and New Zealand even. And the trees of this forest have thick trunks and then broad leaves. They are not very tall in a height and shed their leaves in the autumn season. So you must remember, during the autumn season, these are the things are actually found. So the main trees found here are maple, birch, then poplar, ash, and Douglas fir. So these are the few plants are actually available over here. So these are few things are actually about the temperate deciduous forest. Okay, so student, little bit I will talk about the grasslands now. So here grasslands can be classified as a tropical grassland and a temperate grassland. So this one also you can find two ways. That is a tropical and a tropical grassland and a temperate grassland. As we have learned about the tropical deciduous forest and a temperate deciduous forest, same as. So here tropical grassland. These grasslands are actually found in the tropical zones or on either side of the rainforest in Africa, in the Brazilian highlands. Then you will find Bolivia, the parts of the Bolivia, then Paraguay and Venezuela, and in northern Australia even. So they are actually known as different names in different places. For example, they are known as a savanna. Okay, you must remember savanna in Africa, then Ilanos in Venezuela, and Campos in the Brazilian highlands. So different names are actually nominated in different places. So tropical grassland have tall grasses. These founds actually these founds actually here are short and scattered throughout the regions, not much thickly found. So that is how this existing here. Then temperate grassland. These grasslands are actually located in interior regions of the temperate belt, and they are known as the prairies in North America, pampas in South America, steppes in the Eurasia, and velds in South Africa, and downs in Australia even. And then the rainfall in these regions actually varies from moderate to poor. and therefore short grasses and only a few trees such as alder, willow, and polar are found here. So few things that is actually found about the grasslands. So now more or less this chapter you read about it more, and then you will get it some more about the information. So hope you are understanding. Read it more, and we will be covering this chapter. Okay, so here I stop. In the next class I will talk about the desert vegetation, tundra vegetation, and followed by natural vegetation of India. Okay, so thank you and have a great day ahead.